Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Starting a new series here on social media called Mobility Exploration. So in this series, what we'll do is pick a posture or pose or position and explore the almost infinite angles upon which you can improve your flexibility and mobility. So the idea behind this is that to give you some basic framework and some structure on which you can play with those angles. And then over time, you'll find your own insight, your own intuition, and ideally your own creativity in finding angles that might be specific to what your needs are. It's a great way to play and not feel like you're stuck in just, the very structured square positions that you might find when you do a yoga class or just in general on your own time. So let's check it out. Feel free to swipe left to see what's up. So in this first series, we will be exploring the 90-90 position and specifically working on the potentials that you can use with that front lead leg. So as you can see here, we're working on possible twists, hinges, lifts, hamstring stretches, and threads. All different ways on which you can explore and open that front leg. So for the basic setup, what you want to do is go from a open leg position and rotate into a 90-degree angle in both legs, hence 90-90. Now, if you feel like you're falling over in that position, feel free to place a blanket or pillow underneath yourself. The first thing we'll focus on is a passive stretch. So in this passive stretch, basically all you are doing is passively letting your body relax and go deeper, allowing gravity to pull you into a deeper position. What I suggest is that you take at least 90 seconds here to 2 minutes to open yourself. Next, looking at more of an active position, you'll be using an agonist and antagonist contraction to go deeper, pressing that thigh and knee into the ground on your inhale. And on the exhale, like an alligator closing its mouth, you want to feel that knee and your belly pull in towards one another to actively pull deeper into that position. Again, inhale, pressing down, and on the exhale, pulling in deeper. And as you do this, make sure that the spine is nice and long, particularly when you go into that deeper position. The heart tries to reach past the shin. Next, let's take a look at targeted bows. So looking at the knee, the foot, the mid-shin, and your front knee as targets, and also to the side. So basically, we'll start with the head targeting a bow towards that back knee, then aiming the head towards the front foot as best you can. Same thing with the mid-shin, the front knee, and a bit of a twist over to the side. So that's level 1. Level 2, focusing on the chest or the heart, aiming in that same targeted bow. Obviously with the back leg, you won't get as far. Seeing if you can connect the dot between that mid-shin and your heart. Same thing at the knee and in that twisted open position. The final round is aiming your belly button towards those targeted positions. This adds a bit more of a challenge in terms of length in the spine, so there's a bit more of an anterior tilt, or you can think of sticking your butt out. You might find that the intensity amplifies as you go through each of these targeted bows. Next, let's take a look at the snake. have a slithering-like motion in our cat-cow, but we'll do it from a nice deep low position. So still working on those targets of the back knee, then slithering open towards your front foot, slithering open in that position to the mid-shin. Again, same thing to the knee. Think about the idea of scraping first your chin, then your chest, then your belly button across those targeted points. Next, working on a sweep, keeping the chest low, sweeping your backhand all the way around, trying to make as big of a circle as possible, and creating that same rotation on the way back. The challenge here is to see how far you can reach. The reaching motion should help you get deeper into the position and amplify the stretch in that front leg, specifically in the glutes. And then as you twist open, you might feel it a bit more in the low back and possibly the quad of the back leg. Next, opening up the upper body through some threads. So that backhand can open and thread underneath. What you might find is a stretch along the back, specifically in between the left scapula, if your right leg is forward, and then through the low back. Similar but different sensation here as you thread your forward hand, your right hand, to the side, just dropping the chest. Again, this is all about exploring different angles, see what feels right to you. Next, looking at a dynamic oblique stretch, placing your hand underneath your knee. Big thing here is to keep pressing your knee down into the hand, so there's some mild tension. Then here, simply adding a dynamic cat-cow. And as you do so, what you might feel is a stretch along the right side of the abdomen. Great way to open up the obliques. Remember to breathe naturally. Next, a bit more active and strength work with some good mornings. Big thing here is just trying to keep the spine nice and long, hinging over until you feel like you might collapse in the spine. So keep the integrity of the long spine, pushing through that front leg to come back out. If that's tricky at a 90-degree angle, you can always pull your knee in at more of a 45-degree angle. Keeping with the idea of strength, this is a bent knee hover. So starting off, what you can do is rock yourself back like you're taking a cat position and lift the leg. Over time, if it feels all right, challenge yourself by staying in a neutral spine, so shoulders right over top of your hips as you lift. You'll notice it takes a bit more strength and the leg won't lift as high, but a great challenge nonetheless. Adding even more intensity and challenge to this would be a straight leg hover. This is going to challenge your adductors and your quads to really lock that knee out and try to hover over the ground, landing as gently as possible. And once you've activated that, a great one to work on is a hurdler stretch. So this can be quite intense for those with tight hamstrings. So just working on reaching your chest forward. Over time, it might get to a point where you feel comfortable dropping your head to your knee. As always, try to keep that heart reaching forward. So again, the target of your knee towards your belly button. And finally, some self-exploration. So this is time to find your own creativity, explore, find insights in what is right for you. Maybe set a timer for a minute or two on each side and just really work on opening at as many different angles as possible and just having fun tuning into your body. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.